Sorry to break it to you, but if you vote for somebody that says taxing the rich will make your life better, unfortunately, you are the method. That has to be quite possibly the oldest scam in the book, and you just fell for it. Let's tax the rich. Yes, let's take money from the rich and give it to the poor. Sounds good in theory, except wealthy people don't make money the same way you make money. You have income, your income gets taxed. The wealthy don't work that way. Let me give you an example. I'm not even wealthy. I wouldn't consider myself there yet, but I am 24 years old. I have a business that'll do about $8 million this year. I have a sick life. I get to do whatever I want. I get to travel all the time. I get to live in a nice place. I get to have great meals. Yet I paid like literally next to nothing in taxes last year because I lost money. I pay myself very little from my business because I don't want to have a lot of taxable income. And most of the things I do, I just write them off. And it's not a scam. I'm not gaming the system. I've just built my life around the system. For example, I have a podcast, right? I run a business podcast. Whenever I want to travel and see my friends, I schedule a podcast in those cities. So if I want to see my friends in Miami, I will go to Miami to do a podcast, and I'll just stay an extra day to see my friends. And now that $1,500 first class ticket and that nice hotel or Airbnb that I definitely enjoyed, I wrote it off. That was a business expense because I had to fly over there in order to do that podcast.
You got to understand the rich move different. When you making money, like he said, you building your life around your business. So having a podcast is amazing. That's a great idea because you can go different places and say you want to visit your friends. I'm gonna do a podcast now. I can write off the whole trip. But when you hear politicians say tax the rich, it's a bamboozlement. It's never going to work. The rich will pay a certain amount of taxes, but you'll never get all of their money. Because, like you said, the rich don't make their money like a regular person does. When you say tax the rich, only people you're going to be taxing is doctors, welders, firefighters, police. Those are the people you're going to be taxing more and more and more. It's because they get earned income and they have a higher amount of earned income. So you're not going to tax the billionaires like a Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. They have their money in so many different things that you can't even touch it. Stocks, they borrow off of the stocks. They have nonprofit. They have all these things where they don't make any money on paper, but they control everything. But America continues to fall for tax the rich, get more money for the rich, and give it to the poor. Why is the poor poor? It's because they don't know how to manage money. They don't know how to get money. So if we're taking money from the rich and giving it to the poor, they will continue to be broke because they don't understand money. But the thing is, though, why punish somebody that's worked hard? We're getting into this point of America now where the left is just has to say, we'll give you wherever you want, vote for us. They used to do that with the black people. They used to do that with the Latinos. Now they're focused more on the transgenders. They're focused more on people that are super duper poor, the young people. The young people that grew up not having to work, they're focused on that. And their main message is tax the rich and we'll give you the money. But the young people will never see the money. The Democrats never ran a business. Tell me a Democrat that has actually ran a Fortune 500 business or knows anything about business. None of them do, not that I know of. So when we look at this, you want to tax the rich, but you can't tax them. The only people you'll be taxing that'll be really struggling is the people that you need. The doctors, the nurses, the firefighters, electricians, people that work a 9 to 5, but they are high income earners. You'll never touch the rich. The biggest fallacy that you can hear from a politician is tax the rich. How? Not Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates owns Microsoft, but it's under his foundation, his nonprofit. You can't tax that. You see what I'm saying? Jeff Bezos gets his money off of shares and he borrows off of his shares. You can't tax that. The tax code is made for people with money. The tax code would never go anywhere because it's made for the millionaires and billionaires. So instead of trying to say tax them more and get more money, get on your job and make money. Become like them. What everybody says, even when I talk to people in the Latino community, right? Outside of America, you're a Democrat because they help you get in. But once you start making money, you become a Republican. Because the Republicans favor people that worked hard and got themselves to a level to be rich and wealthy. The Democrats now support, well, not always, they've always supported the low income, and they promise all these things, but it never works. You have Mom Donnie in New York promising socialism and saying we're going to take this and do this, but it's not going to work because the rich move different. They just leave. Bye. I don't care. You can't tax me if I'm not there. So you got to look at the bigger plan in New York. New York is going to be immigrant central, like how LA was. It's going to be nothing but immigrants. And so anybody that's there, which probably won't be any billionaire or millionaire that you know, but they are there, they will try to punish them. But how can you punish somebody that doesn't have earned income? This is why you should get a business, entrepreneur, LLC. There's a lot of things you could do, but have a real business and actually do something. Like I have my trucking network. I have Mr. Marcus World. I have a media company. These are things that you can do to have a LLC, to have companies. So when you move, you have write-offs. But this is why you have to have a tax account. This is why you have to have people on your team to tell you what to do. But a lot of you guys just don't want to work hard. What we're starting to see in this generation coming up is nobody wants to work hard. Nobody wants to get up at 2:00 in the morning and do videos or do comments or go to work or go become an electrician or become a firefighter. Nobody wants to do that because they say it's too hard. It's too much work, not enough money. In this world, what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. The generation coming up, the generation now that voted for Mamdani are a bunch of lazy people that really don't want to work. They want to be TikTokers and that's it. If that doesn't work, they want to say tax the rich. But we can't reward mediocrity in this country. We can't. There's a lot of people working hard in this country every single day. So you want to tax them more because they work hard? What message are we sending to the generation that's coming up? Not to work hard and you'll get money. You're creating a generation of lazy people. Now that's why immigrants come over and they take over our country. It's because they simply just work harder. I told my buddy, we talk a lot, my buddy in Atlanta, Alante. I said, this is the easiest time to make millions and billions. He said, why? I said, because the common thing you have to do is just work hard. Whatever you do every single day, it will break through because not everybody can do it every single day. People today want to do it for a week, no millions, I quit, I'm done. Tax the rich. That's what's wrong with our society now. Nobody wants to work hard. If it doesn't work out, I quit. You don't want to keep going, keep going, keep going. That attitude has been lost. That was the attitudes of our generation, the generation before us, our parents, their parents. Work hard, put the work in, you'll get what you receive. So that's what's going on, why you want to tax the rich.
I make very little money. I take home very little money, but I still get to live the life that I want. And therefore, I am not taxed that much. If you raise taxes on income, which is what most of these Democrat and socialists and communists want to do, you are at the end of the day just going to hurt the people that actually really deserve to keep their money, which is like doctors and engineers, like the people that work really hard and went to school for a long time to get good at a very important profession. They are going to be the ones hurting the most. It's not going to be the ultra wealthy. It's going to be like the second generation immigrant who went to college and then went to medical school and became a doctor. And now he's losing half his income a year because other people out there are lazy and don't want to work for themselves.
Exactly. Like I said, immigrants that coming in are in favor of Democrats, but once they come in, they settle, they have kids, they become American citizens, they become Republicans because they make money. The people that fall through, the people that get hit the worst are the middle class. Those they always. So you either want to be super poor so you can get everything from the government or super rich so you can afford everything on your own. You never want to be in the middle. The middle class, when they say tax the rich, you might as well say tax the middle class. That's what happens. The middle class gets punished the worst. The doctors, the lawyers, the nurses, the longshoremen, the firefighters, the people that's actually going, get the janitors, the teachers. You're punishing them because you don't want to work hard. How about we get a bonus for just working hard? That's the thing we got to do with these policies and stuff like that is fix it to where we can have it to where you worked hard, you got a job, you've been there, you get a bonus from American government. That's what needs to happen. We need to reward hard work. Right now, we reward laziness. That's what's wrong with our country. So when you see a politician say tax the rich, just know it's nonsense. It will never happen. When you say tax the rich, just say tax the teachers, tax the firefighters, tax the police, tax the doctors and the nurses. Those are the people that will feel the blunt of that tax, not the rich. They will never feel it because they have so many things in so many ways they make money and get money. You can't tax them. So just give it up.